tree.
What's the name of your company?
Stevens Tree Service.
And where do you primarily do your work?
Throughout the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County.
All right, so what are we trimming today?
So this is a Ficus bengalis, commonly known as a banyan tree. It's growing in my backyard along the canal, and it needs a canopy reduction. So Ray, my climber today, is up there pruning it out, doing some thinning right now, and eventually throughout the day we're going to do some limb reductions and some canopy reductions, which will strengthen the integrity of all the branches and also the tree overall. These trees are relatively shallow rooted, so it's good to have them maintained regularly so they don't blow over in the event of a strong storm or hurricane. You can see on the tree, towards the east side of the tree, some of the aerial prop roots that are growing down. It's almost like the tree knows that it needs some kind of structural support on that side, and every single banyan or ficus tree that I've ever seen has always sent out prop roots on the side of the tree that it needs more support on. And so we're trying to encourage that as well, so that there's more stability on the east side of that tree.
How old is that tree, do you think?
You know, it's really hard to determine the trees in the south and the tropics, because unlike up north, we don't have a freezing and thawing season. So the rings, that if we could count rings, it wouldn't be accurate down here because we don't have a time of year where we get freezing cold. So there's no seasonal change in the ring growth. But I would assume that this tree is somewhere on the order of about 40 years.
Okay, and is it hardwood or softwood?
This is a hardwood, but in terms of wood density, this tree is a weaker wood. You would never use this tree for furniture or to build a home or anything. This tree does not have the amount of lignin in its cellular components making up its biomass that's as dense as, say, an oak tree or a cherry tree. So this is it's a relatively weak wooded tree. It's still strong, being a hardwood, yet on the order of the strength and density of hardwoods, it's on the weaker side of that spectrum.
And what about the root system on this tree?
Again, it's a shallow rooted. They're advantageous roots that extend out. It kind of reminds you of like the Tarzan movies where you can swing from the vines. In this case, they're actually roots, and they are coming down from the branches. In some cases, we try to encourage them. We'll put a PVC pipe up from the ground to protect them and make sure that they get rooted in the soil. Those are going to give this tree more structure, and it will also allow this tree to extend further out. If you look on the back of my shirt, this is a real tree that we pruned and turned into our logo, and you can see on the sides from the main trunk how it's able to extend out. These trees can encompass many square miles. There's a place in South Africa that these trees are growing, and a long time ago people thought that was a forest of many trees, but in fact this 7 to 8 square mile area of these trees was just one tree. They did a DNA sample and it was all the genetically identical tree.